Alright, when you are dealing with ratios, it's similar to how you dealt with fractions. Alright, one of the biggest differences, though, is whenever you have a fraction, like 1/7, it's usually all about how you say it. Alright, like 1/7 or 1/7. What a ratio is, it shows the relationship between two numbers. Alright, so take our 1/7 here. If we wanted to truly make it a ratio, ratios tend to have units or items attached to them. For example, say we have one teacher for every 7 students. So if you walked into the classroom and you're looking at trying to create a ratio somewhere, you could say, all right, you go in this classroom, you see one teacher, oh, you have 7 students. So for majority, one teacher will have about 7 students. Now, when it comes to ratios, they can be written 3 ways, similar to how fractions are. Alright? You can write them just simply 1/7. You can also write 1:7, or you can write it in fraction form, 1/7. So 3 different ways to write a ratio. Alright, you can also reduce ratios, alright, without changing the relationship. So say, instead of one teacher for every 7 students, we had 3 teachers for 21 students. And we were curious on what that would be in reduced form. Alright. Well, we noticed that both 3 can come out of 3 and 21. So if we're going to reduce it, we just yank 3 out of 3, which leaves 1. Do 3 divided by 21, which leaves 7. So this 3/21 and 1/7 is essentially the same ratio. Now, what a proportion is, it's 2 ratios of equal value. Alright? So in the example, we have 6/8 equals 3/4. Okay? You can check if 2 ratios are equal by using cross multiplication. What cross multiplication is, you multiply this bottom number times that top number, then multiply this bottom number times that top number. Alright? And if after multiplying they are the same value both for top and bottom, that means these ratios are proportionate or they're equal to one another. So 8 times 3 is 24. Alright, 4 times 6 is 24 as well. So 6/8 is actually equal to 3/4. Okay, so like I said, if the relationship between two numbers is given. Okay, now something that could come up when you're dealing with proportions is this. If the relationship between two numbers is given and an equal relationship needs to be found, you can set up a proportion to solve the problem. Okay? For example, alright, whenever you deal with measurements, 12 inches equals 1 foot. Alright? And you're curious on, okay, if 12 inches equals 1 foot, how many inches is in 5 feet? Now, how you set everything up is similar to how you're trying to figure out if the proportion was equal or not. Okay, you simply cross multiply. Alright, I know there's nothing technically here. Alright, so we'll put like a square to represent a blank space. Alright, or a letter. So we have 1 square equals, and then 12 times 5 is 60. So, in 5 feet, there are 60 inches. Okay? So, that's how you figure out the missing variable in a proportion. Now, let's take a look at some examples. Alright? Example 1. We have 6 apples that cost $1.50. Okay? So 6 apples. That cost $1.50. And we are looking to see how much it would cost for 9 apples. So similar to what we did a while ago. Alright, I'm going to put apples on top, money on the bottom. Alright, and we've got to figure out, okay, how much did it cost us, or how much is it going to cost us to get 9 apples compared to the $1.50 it did for 6. So what we've got to do is we wrote the ratio out, we set up a second ratio, we've got our proportions set up, and we get everything labeled. Alright, that's all we have to do. Okay, because it asks what expression shows. So this is the expression. It does not ask us to solve it, it simply just asks us, okay, before you solve it, how would you set it up? This is how we would set it up. Okay, so make sure you are paying close attention to what the question asks. Sometimes it'll ask just simply, okay, what is the expression, or how would you set up the problem? Some others will be like, solve it. Set it up, then solve it. Okay? Similar to how example 2 is. Example 2 actually wants us to set it up, then solve it. Alright? So, for example 2, let's take a look at it. If DVDs are 3 for $10, what is the approximate cost of 1 DVD? Alright? So what we need to do is set up a ratio for 3 DVDs and their cost, and for 1 DVD and the unknown cost. Alright? So we have 3 DVDs that cost $10. We are curious to see how much it costs per DVD. So we're going to do 1 DVD over an unknown cost. Alright, so we got the ratio set up. We've got the proportions set up. Now we need to cross multiply and then divide to solve for C, or our unknown cost. So we're going to do cross multiplication, which is $10 times 1. And then C times 3C. Alright, so 3 times the cost equals 10. Now we need to get C by itself to give us an idea how much it's going to cost us overall. So I'm going to rewrite 3C equals 10. Alright. We are going to divide both sides because we need to get C all by itself. Alright, 10 divided by 3. If you punch that nice little number, it'll roughly come out to $3.33. Alright, remember it's approximate. It's not approximate, means estimate has to be close, not the exact number. Alright, because if you punch in 10 divided by 3, you're going to get a decimal. So the answer we are looking for is that. Alright, so what I want you to do is do the practice skill part. Alright, answer the 2 questions, then compare your answers to the solution on the bottom. And once you've done that, I want you to do the GED practice. Alright, and if there's any questions that you have over the practice problems, just let me know.